Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Before we get to a circuit series, let's get this one out of the way. Why record, make, and why watch tutorials in the age of AI? So here we will go through some use cases and some pros and cons and some gotchas that you might get into. So let's dive right into it. Just let me hide myself first, and then we will go through this. As you can see, this is a cloned circuit library, and the argument is when I have AI, why would I watch a tutorial or why would I make a tutorial when I can just clone some piece of open source software and ask AI to explain things to me. Here we can see that I'm asking it what is view model used for in this library. And first of all, note that I know what to ask. I know that view model is used in circuit. That view model is implementation details of circuit. If I didn't know that, I wouldn't know to ask this. You don't know what you don't know. So that is one minus, one con, that you actually need to know uh, what to ask. If you are asking good questions, you will mostly get good answers. But if you don't know what to ask, you are, just, going into it blind, then it is very easy for it to lead you astray. Here it goes and links me files where it is used, what it is used for. It's pretty good at these tasks, as I say already said. When you know what to ask. But again, you can see it is an Android view model already. It's wrong because view model is not on the Android. It's multi-platform, and Circuit is multi-platform library, so it's already wrong. But it can point you into the right direction. So you go into the file, you just skim through it, through the file and check, if it hallucinated or more or less. But for this, it's one pros. So it's pretty good at things like this. Although there is a mixed one, since it has a con to it, that you need to know what to ask. This is where hard skills come into play. If you don't know what to ask, you're done. I just noticed that I recorded the wrong conversation. This one is with Claude Opus 4.7. The previous one was 4.6. They pretty much gave the same answers. Um, I just went deeper into this inside of this conversation, and because this is conversation just to prove the point, I will switch to this one and ask you the same question: why would anyone use this library or any similar one instead of using navigation 3 or 2 plus view models, more traditional approach? And fair question, again, always right. Right from the beginning, uh, view model is Android only. Navigation 3 is moving forward, but not the ecosystem yet. Um, Testable without Roboelectric. Roboelectric is not needed anywhere here, and you can read through this and pause. But then I start pressing it with questions. This statement is wrong. Again, I'm right. Um, then it corrects some of what it said, but again, it's wrong on some of these too. Um, yeah, and then I press it on Roboelectric. I'm correct. I'm right again. And then it explains how things are done. Again, this is uh, you can do it like this, but there are better ways. This is not how you test presenters. This is hidden from you. For presenters, you can still use, and we will see how and when we will use molecule flow for testing, but this is basically hidden from you for presenters. So um, this is the point where when I start being a bit mean and when I get annoyed and I start pressing, on every single thing that it said. But again, it's wrong. Uh, JVM unit tests, it's called a multi-platform, like it runs on all platforms. Then it started mentioning iOS simulators, and then I press it on the simulator question. Again, I'm right. Those are unit tests, etc. This is just me being mean and nitpicky. I would stop, long before this. But again, you see that how easy it can lead you astray if you don't have hard skills that are required that you would get from a course or a tutorial or something. And that was the end of the conversation with it. And as you can see, I'm always right. And you don't know what you don't know. You need to know what questions to ask. If you know what questions to ask, it's fine. It's awesome. It can be awesome. It's goodish, good-ish. But you need to know what to ask. You need to know what to ask. You need to check what it tells you, and you saw that you still need knowledge and experience. You need knowledge first to ask the right questions, and second, you need knowledge and experience to know when to use which approach. Because if you were trusting it, it would lead you astray. That's why it's still useful to create tutorials and to consume tutorials. You just don't go into, tutorial rabbit hole and, tutorial hell. Make something useful, but still you need confirmation from someone who knows what they are talking about. And let's see more cons of using AI and why tutorials really make sense. And for that one, let's transition to IDE. So from the beginning of this year, I've been pushing these models to the limit, and I have some crazy workflows, and I'm coding multiple apps with it because I'm, indie developer on the side, and that's where I'm testing everything that I want to try to test. You don't test things on client projects. You test, them in your own project. And what I and this is and in past months I saw so many crazy things, but this one just stuck with me. I asked it to, use navigation 3 because I wanted to use it in a real project, a bit, medium-sized project, and not just an example project, to really get a feel how that library um, um, what is the developer experience, how it is, how it behaves. Is it ergonomic to use in a slightly bigger project when it's not just an example, etc. And I want to use view models, and it did. At first it did a good thing, for example, having a state full and the stateless component, etc. But where it failed spectacularly is when I asked it to survive Android configuration, that not configuration, Android process death. And that's when it did this. It created it wrapped it in a remember savable, created random. It wrapped it in a remember savable, created a custom saver for a view model, and then where I put dots here, it was like 40-ish lines of code that were crashing, by the way. uh, I could not find it because I obviously did not commit this into Git, and I could not find it in local history, but it was some nonsense code, and that's what it did. And of course, if you know anything about Android and view models, etc., this is the way to survive process deaths. You should use saved state handle, but again, you don't know what you don't know. You need hard skills still, maybe now more than ever, because it's so easy with AI to make mistakes like this. And imagine if you were iOS person coming to Android, if you were React native person coming to Android, if you were just starting from from scratch, this would look good to you, and you will tell it, the app is crashing, fix the crash. You will copy paste the error, and imagine that it fixed those 40 and something lines of code. You know, I can imagine how that can work, and you continue like this until you run into problems, etc., and you do this in a job interview, and you're done. Like, just one example. And the other thing to touch on is the point that I emphasized multiple times while I was reading the conversation with Claude. Opus point 4.7 is that you are always right. It will not tell you that you're wrong most of the time. Like 99% of the time, you are right, because models are products, and sometimes it will probably not I'm not sure, I cannot confirm, but it it will give you wrong answers just so you pull that lever on a slot machine multiple times and get that dopamine hit multiple times. Those are all products, and they are, and you can argue that you are the product that it is using too. So it's designed for engagement. It's not for curing cancer. It's not for sending people to Mars, etc. It is a product, and it needs to keep you engaged. So it's easy to fall into a trap that you are always right, etc., etc., because you are not, as you cannot be always right. And yeah, I think that I will end my rant on that note. Subscribe if you want to see the complete series on Circuit. We will not just go through docs and implement what is already there. I will show you my own projects. I will show you on a bigger scale how to do things, and we will cover some more advanced use cases, trade-offs that you want to make from within, components of Circuit, etc. After that, we are going into agentic coding and how to use it as a professional, not be a vibe coder that enters a prompt, legs on a table, hands behind your back, and you are waiting for it to be done. You click, you press enter, autocomplete everything, auto accept, and then it's done. No, how to use it as a professional, and in two ways, in in parallel. So you are working with it, it's not working instead of you, and how you can coordinate team of different agents to build a product. So the code will be hidden from you, but you will have a hard grasp on what is going on. and you will be heavily involved in that process. So if that is something that you're interested in, subscribe for that too, because that will be coming alongside with yeah. So that's it for this video. Next we will be diving into circuit, and hope to see you there. Bye, have a great day.